8 News starts now with your Storm Tracker 8 forecast first.
Hello everyone, Storm Tracker 8 Chief Meteorologist jumping in. Real-time VIFO radar. A little bit of light rain continues across the area right now as a storm system slides up the eastern seaboard. It's not hitting everybody. It's rather patchy, and over the remainder of the night, you'll see it quickly shift off to the east as we go past midnight into the wee hours of the night so that it's reaching the Chesapeake Bay. By around 3 a.m., it's moving out of the way, and look at the clearing skies coming in for tomorrow. We'll see a return to sunshine in the forecast. The details are next on 8 News at 11.
Breaking on 8 News at 11. A Richmond City Councilwoman hits a parked car and then drives away. Why she says she did not alert police until the next day. A student hit by a car while biking to school. How Richmond public school parents are calling for change before someone else gets seriously hurt. A tornado touches down in southwest Florida. The damage it left behind in a residential neighborhood.
8 News starts now with breaking news.
That breaking news out of Richmond tonight, where police are investigating the bizarre circumstances surrounding a crash involving a city councilwoman. A tip came into our newsroom earlier tonight, and 8 News reporter Ben Dennis has been digging and investigating ever since.
He joins us live now from Richmond after making contact with Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch. And Ben, what did she have to say?
Eric, Deanna, good evening. The councilwoman tells me that she did not alert Richmond police until 11 hours after she rammed into the back of that parked car. A 9 a.m. phone call to police this morning after a 10 o'clock incident last night. Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch had said that she was on the way back from picking up a heater at a neighbor's house because her home is currently without heat due to a blown furnace. She said she was driving on 30th Street in the south side in her Woodland Heights neighborhood. She was going around 20 to 25 miles per hour, which we simulated just hours ago. You can see here on your screen. Now, Lynch had said she was trying to plug in her phone, became distracted, and then the collision. She admitted to driving off, going home, and waking up the next morning and calling police. Her reasoning, she said she has never been in a car accident and wasn't sure what to do. We have seen a photo of her car, but haven't received permission to share it at this hour. It's a wrecked Mercedes, and Lynch said it was towed off this evening. We visited where it was parked and found no car on scene, nor do we find the car that she says she hit. Now, I asked Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch if she had been drinking last night. She said that she had not. She also indicated Richmond police did not take a police report this morning, but the department disputes that, telling me that they did. Of course, the investigation is ongoing. No charges have been announced. Stay with us for the developments out of this breaking story. In Richmond, Ben Dennis, 8 News.
Ben, thanks very much. An update tonight on an 8 News investigation we've been following for weeks now. The Richmond Mayor's Office saying minor code violations were found at the motel where Commonwealth Catholic Charities is operating a homeless shelter. You may recall that 2 weeks ago we ran a story highlighting mold issues and unresolved maintenance requests at the Days Inn on Midlothian Turnpike after residents there complained. Officials say the property owner is currently working to fix those issues.
After their son's bike was hit by a car on his way to school, one local family is warning others, hoping it helps more children and families get where they need to safely. 8 News reporter Olivia Jakewith walked through that area with the family tonight. Olivia, how are they feeling right now? I see you're out there in the rain in that area, police car behind you. You've walked that route with the family.
That's right, Deanna, I did. And since that accident, the Noggle family tells me that they've actually been taking a different intersection just about a block up that way. They say their son is still biking to school, but they're taking this as a warning to call for change before something worse happens here. Drew Noggle rides his bike to school just about every day.
He walks out the door and I tell him, Drew, be careful, all the cars are trying to run you over.
It was a lighthearted warning to be cautious until it wasn't.
You could see like the paint from the car.
Last month, while in this crosswalk with the signal to go, Drew's parents say his bike was hit by a car turning right at the intersection of Westmoreland Street and Grove Avenue. The 11-year-old says he was knocked from his bike unhurt, but shaken.
I did give him a big hug after school that day, and he sort of melted.
We try our best as parents to make a safe environment for our children, and yet still sometimes these happen.
Drew's parents, Brendan and Megan Noggle, say Mary Munford Elementary School has been helpful in protecting the safety of its students who walk and bike to school by advocating for changes over the years.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying to think that a kid could not walk away. I can't imagine if we got this close call as a warning and then nothing more was done and something really terrible happened.
But even with signage, lights, crosswalks, radars, and crossing guards, the Noggles say they've had multiple close calls and would like more to be done.
But I don't see how, with adults and children having close calls at that intersection, how it's possible for children to be completely safe without having all the cars be stopped and having a way for the children to cross.
And I spoke with 1st District Councilman Andreas Addison today, and he says that unsafe driving behaviors such as speeding and failing to yield are specific problems in at least 12 intersections in his district. Now, he didn't say whether this was one of those intersections, but he did say that he's in favor of proposed speed enforcement cameras to, again, cut down on those unsafe driving behaviors at intersections like this one. Live in Richmond tonight, Olivia Jaquith, 8 News.
Thanks, Olivia. In Richmond, one of the men charged in the death of VCU freshman Adam Oakes is now pleading guilty. That plea entered earlier today. Oakes was found dead in February with a blood alcohol level 5 times the legal limit following an alleged hazing incident. Oakes' family was emotional after the plea decision by Andrew White, Oakes' big brother in the Delta Chi fraternity. White pleaded guilty to charges of unlawful hazing of a student and buying alcohol for a minor. Prosecutors say Oakes was ordered to chug an, quote, unusually strong drink White made him at a frat party hours before he was found dead. Oakes' cousin, Courtney White, says this plea is her family's first glimmer of hope.
I think it's emotional. But at the same time, I can't help but think it's only one of 11. There's other boys involved, and we still have a really, really long road ahead.
7 of the other young men charged in this case will be in court in February. President Joe Biden is trying to make it easier for you to find a COVID-19 test, something that is pretty hard right now. Biden announcing today that his administration will buy 500 million rapid at-home tests starting in January. Any person who wants a test can have one sent to their home for free. But a lot of people are looking for them right now. So if you're struggling to find one before Christmas, your best bet is likely tomorrow morning. The Richmond and Henrico Health District has a testing event at the Eastern Henrico Recreation Center from 9 to 11 a.m. VDH is planning to hand out a limited amount of at-home tests there. If you would like to find out more details on testing locations, you can head over to WRIC.com.
Local leaders are urging residents to be vigilant as Omicron cases continue to rise in Richmond. Amy Popovich with the Richmond City Health District says it's a good idea to get tested before visiting family for the holidays, even if you're fully vaccinated. Mayor LeVar Stoney continuing to recommend that people wear masks indoors with the transmission rate high in Richmond.
Masks are another way to keep each other safe, and so we still recommend, and it's still required when you enter public buildings. More than ever, we do encourage folks to mask up and sort of go back to how you may have acted earlier on in this journey, this pandemic journey.
Officials also are reminding those who are unvaccinated that it's never too late to get that first shot. In the city, vaccination clinics remain open to walk-ups.
Now to an 8 News crime alert tonight. A man was shot and killed on Bethel Street this morning. Richmond police were called to VCU Medical Center around 11:15. Someone brought the victim to the hospital after the shooting. He later died there. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers. 2 teens have been charged in connection to a string of vandalism acts in Chesterfield this month. We first told you last week about cars that had been set on fire at Allen Tire and others damaged at Sibley's Barbecue. Well, then on December 17th, there was a break-in at Thomasdale High School where the school was vandalized. Police arrested a 14 and 15-year-old for that break-in, and they suspect they're responsible for the other cases too.
Tonight, a man is recovering after being rescued after getting stuck in a waist-deep trench in Hanover County. Now, fire and EMS crews were called to the home this afternoon where they used a vacuum truck and a wooden board to get the man out. He was taken to VCU Medical Center and is expected to be okay. Governor Northam has announced that the 1887 time capsule found at the Robert E. Lee pedestal will be opened tomorrow. The time capsule was found Friday in the pedestal's tower after crews had first searched in its base. Historic preservation experts will open the capsule at noon at the Department of Historic Resources Lab.
In your Capital Connection, Governor Ralph Northam is sitting down with 8 News, reflecting on the last 4 years as he prepares to leave office. His term was nearly cut short by calls for resignation in 2019 after being accused of appearing in a racist yearbook photo. Northam says the listening tour that followed put racial and economic inequities into sharp focus. The governor would soon lead efforts to end the death penalty, legalize recreational marijuana, and pass various police reforms. We asked Northam if big Democratic losses this election season may be evidence that his administration went too far.
Did you misread your mandate?
I don't think we talked about what we've done as Democrats in Virginia enough during the past election. It became nationalized. To be a progressive state and to also have the best economy that Virginia's ever seen, that's something that we as Democrats need to talk more about.
Asked if this is the end of his political career, Northam says never say never, but you won't see his name on the ballot anytime soon. Instead, he says he's going back to practice as a pediatrician.
Straight ahead on 8 News at 11. A record amount of people are expected to travel this holiday season. We'll break down the best ways you can stay safe if you plan to hit the roads or fly the friendly skies.
Senator Joe Manchin sounds off after deciding to vote against the Build Back Better bill. Hear part of the explosive interview after the break. JB.
And outside across central Virginia, it's a dreary, drippy, and chilly evening across the region. Most temperatures middle 30s right now. It's all going to move out of the way tomorrow. It's back to some sunshine and a nice warming trend that we'll have for the upcoming weekend. We will talk about it coming up next.
Dreary, drippy, and chilly. Sounds like the Seven Dwarfs over here. Well, you're watching 8 News at 11, the news where you live.
And on this wet Tuesday, stay right there because JB, Eric, and I will be right back.
Welcome back to 8 News at 11. I'm Eric Phillips.
I'm Deanna Albritton. New tonight, despite the new threat of the Omicron variant, authorities are expecting more than 110 million of us Americans to travel this week.
Gio Benitez breaks down the best ways to keep your family safe.
Tonight, despite the fast-spreading Omicron variant, millions are on the move, more than 100 million by car, and the airports are packed.
Got double vaxxed, boosted, regular testing.
Some 30 million expected to fly between now and January 3rd, breaking pandemic records. More than 2 million people every day. First and foremost, experts say if you're vaccinated and boosted, you should feel safe to fly.
The second most important thing is wearing a good mask, wearing a high-quality mask.
The most effective, the N95 mask, but experts say the KN95 and KF94 are almost as strong. Surgical masks were also found to be effective in Department of Defense testing on airplanes. And with cloth masks, multiple layers are recommended. Masks are required on all forms of public transportation, including buses and trains. And remember, airlines will not accept masks with breathing valves. And new COVID protocols are making for long wait times at the airport. International destinations require airlines to check vaccine and testing documents. And if you're hoping to get tested at the airport before your flight, so are many others. Lines are getting longer and longer. And Thursday is expected to be the busiest day at U.S. airports. Some of them, like Seattle and Newark, are allowing you to go online and reserve a spot in the TSA line. Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
New details out of California after a man was caught breaking into a $94 million mansion. Police say the suspect entered the 38,000 square foot Bel Air Hills mansion while the homeowners were still inside. You're looking at video of the moment of the arrest. The home has 12 bedrooms, 21 bathrooms, and an 85-foot infinity pool. Probably without an alarm system, would have never known it was there. The NHL and NHL Players Association are not going to send its players to the Winter Olympics in Beijing. The two sides reaching an agreement after the league decided to extend their holiday break due to a rise in COVID cases throughout the league. According to ESPN, a formal announcement is expected to be sent to the International Olympic Committee within the next day.
Tonight, Senator Joe Manchin is doubling down on why he would vote no on the Build Back Better Act. The decision is essentially putting an end to the White House's top legislative priority by making the vote 51 against and 49 in favor. Manchin says he's proud to stick to what he believes is best for his home state of West Virginia and for the country.
I'm not blaming anybody. I knew where they were, and I knew what they could and could not do. They just never realized it because they figure, surely to God we can move one person. Surely we can badger and beat one person up. Surely we can get enough protesters to make that person uncomfortable enough. They'll just say, okay, I'll vote for anything, just quit. Well, guess what? I'm from West Virginia. I'm not from where they're from, and they can just beat the living crap out of people and think they'll be submissive, period.
The Biden administration says they will continue to work on getting a climate and social spending bill passed.
A tornado rips through a southwest Florida neighborhood this morning. You are looking at video of the damage out of Lee County, and as you can see, there was a lot of stuff knocked down, with some damaging homes in the area. You can see the trees snapped right there. Police say one person was hurt during the storm. The National Weather Service has confirmed that an EF1 did touch down for about a mile.
There's been so much severe weather happening just really all around the country, JB. We haven't felt the worst effects of it here, though.
No, we have not had the worst problems with that, and that storm was about 150 yards wide at its widest point as it came through there through Florida. Again, damage relatively minimal. That was a storm that was on the west coast of Florida early this morning, just after they launched one of those SpaceX Dragon capsules up to the International Space Station successfully this morning. Now a storm sweeping up the east coast. You see the bright white clouds moving off to the east of us here, and still things kind of winding down on the backside of it. Behind it, lots of clear skies. Take a look at real-time VIPO radar, and you can kind of see what is going on. The bulk of the rain now over southeastern Virginia, eastern portions of the Carolinas, and all the bright stuff is right off the coastline here, so it's pulling away. There's the plume of moisture coming up over us here in central Virginia right now. We can take a look at that on real-time VIPO radar out of Wakefield and show you what's happening right now. Most of the rain has been just kind of splotchy over us here, and it's starting to break down a little bit. This will come to an end in the next couple of hours. It'll probably move all of it off the coastline by around 4 a.m. And then we're going to get set for a better day headed your way. on Wednesday. We're looking at the return of sunshine tomorrow. Skies will become mostly sunny. It'll turn a little breezy in the afternoon, and temperatures will reach into the low to mid 50s here over central Virginia. So in the weather maps, watch as it all packs up, leaves town in a hurry. The clouds move out of the way. There's the sunshine back for us. Tomorrow afternoon to tomorrow evening, things quiet down, clear skies. We are going to head down into the mid to upper 20s by the time you wake up on Thursday morning. Thursday, a mostly sunny day for us here. Thursday's a return to some cooler weather across central Virginia, but then after that, we are going to turn milder as we head towards Christmas. Christmas Eve, folks, temperatures reaching the mid to upper 50s. So if you're heading out to church Christmas Eve, 4 o'clock and the children's masses all start, 56 degrees. Midnight mass looking at a temperature around 46. And Christmas Day itself, a warm day. It's going to be a little bit on the breezy side. You know, nice quiet morning. Some people like to get up and go for a nice refreshing run just to kind of have the peace and calm early Christmas morning. 48 degrees for you at 8 a.m. By the afternoon hours, temperatures reaching into the middle 60s. It is going to be a little bit of a breezy day for you on Christmas Day. Mild, I think 66 degrees, partly cloudy Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Mostly sunny, still 64 degrees on Sunday. And then next week, another chance of maybe a few showers coming your way on Tuesday. But even right now, looking all the way towards New Year's Eve, the weather overall, no problems for us here in central Virginia. From what we can see right now, no signs of wintry weather. We'll be back with more news right after this.
Later on Nightline, the pregnant mom and her struggle to come back from the brink. Hospitalized with COVID. Her baby delivered early. Would they survive? Her family praying that a Christmas miracle will bring them home for the holidays.
Welcome back. GRTC has announced that public transit rides will be free through June of 2025. The Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation is issuing an $8 million grant to study the benefits of zero fares. If you recall, GRTC originally suspended fares in March of 2020 to limit close contact between operators and passengers.
It's nice to hop on and off without even touching your wallet. DMV offices across Virginia will be closed during the Christmas and New Year's holidays. Full service centers will be closed from Thursday through Saturday this week and then once again on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Most DMV services will still be available online and by mail. Now let's talk about remarkable women, because we've all been inspired and influenced by some of them. And now is your chance to nominate a woman who's made a difference in your life or the lives of others. You've only got about a week and a half or so to do so. Head on over to WRIC.com to share her story and enter her in our Remarkable Women contest. She could be featured on 8 News. You have until December 31st to submit that entry.
You know, Deanna, you are a remarkable woman, but you cannot win this contest. I'm sorry.
That's true. I'm sure there are many more incredible stories out there. We'll be right back.
Okay, one final look at the forecast for you. We will have a little bit more rain for the next couple of hours. Then tomorrow, clearing skies, gets a little breezy in the afternoon. Temperatures low to mid 50s. Thursday is a return back to some cooler temperatures, but just for a day. And then it's mild for us here across central Virginia as we go through Christmas weekend.
66 on Christmas Day. I can't even believe it.
I can.
Because
I'm all smiles.
you were wishing and praying for it.
I'm happy. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 11 and 6.